Hey everyone, this is Sam with Backcountry Life, and today we're going to talk about which dirt bike you should get for your kid. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. So today we're going to chat a little bit about which dirt bike you should get your kid and why. In the last series, in Series 1, if you haven't watched that, go check it out now. Series 1 talks about basically the basics of like the very beginning of what you should think about in getting your kid started in dirt biking. So now you're at the point where your kid's been on the strider bike, he can ride the pedal bike, he can understand instructions, and you want to go buy him a bike. Well, which one should you buy? Well, the thing you got to think about is you could go and buy a Yamaha PW50, which is a little bit smaller than like the TTR50 or a Honda 50. This is actually a 110. And so your kid's going to grow up and grow out of that probably faster. So I skipped the PW50 and went straight to a CRF50. And the CRF50, the TTR50, to me it's sixes. They're both solid bikes. You're not going to go wrong with either of them. Now, they are trail bikes, meaning they're heavier and they don't have as much suspension and a little bit underpowered as far as just, you know, a motocross bike or something like that. So if you're just wanting to go have fun and ride trails with your kid, you can even ride a little bit of motocross with the TTR50 or the CRF50 or the PW50, but it's not necessarily built for that. So those are the kind of the bikes that I'd recommend. There are other brands. I think Kawasaki makes a 110, but I don't think they actually make a 50 anymore. Suzuki used to make a 50, but they do not make it anymore as well. And so your kind of only options are the CRF, the Honda CRF50, Yamaha TTR50, or the Yamaha PW50, or the KTM50 Mini, which is a mini two-stroke. If your kid's going to get into motocross, the KTM50 Mini is probably a better bet than the Honda and the Yamaha models as well. So now those are kind of the main brands out there that offer bikes. You can go buy an electric bike that I think a lot of other manufacturers are coming out with, like a really nice electric bikes. That's something to think about if you don't have the ability to go to a track or a trail nearby and you don't want your kids making a lot of noise. You could go get one of these electric bikes. But we'll talk about those at another time. So, all right, so now it's come to time to buy the bike. So do you buy a CRF50, TTR50, or a KTM50 Mini? Those are all depending on what you're going to do with the bike. Motocross, go with the KTM. If you're going to mostly ride trails, go with the Honda or the Yamaha. The Honda and Yamaha can ride motocross, but they're not probably as good and as suspended as well as the KTM. So now it comes down to, well, should I buy a new one or should I buy used? Well, that decision is ultimately up to you and your own personal finances, but for me, I decided to buy used. And the reason for that is typically these little bikes, just like you would with clothes or anything like that, your kid's going to grow out of it pretty quickly. So you can usually find a pretty good used dirt bike on the local classifieds or even at a local dealer. So I bought this 2011 CRF50 for my kids, and it was in good shape. You know, I had some scratch and dings, you know, just like anything used, but it's a Honda and they're pretty simple and straightforward, so they're pretty reliable. So I bought it for around $1,000 and I rode it for, I think I had that bike for almost 4 years. And that's a long time actually, and a lot of times their kids grow out or get disinterested in it as well. But I had it for my daughter, she rode it, then my boy rode it, and we kept it for a while. But the great thing about these little TTR50s and the CR50, these little Honda trail bikes, is that they hold their value really, really well. So I sold it for around I think I sold it for $850. So I basically rode the bike for a couple $100 is basically what it was. And so I got my money back. So that's something to think about. Whereas if you buy new, no matter what, as soon as you drive it off the lot, you're going to lose money. So that's something to think about. And the other thing is your kid's going to dump the bike. They're going to break things, they're going to scratch things, and that's normal and that's okay. So my personal opinion is if you're just getting started, I'd say go buy a used bike. Now, sometimes it's harder to find good used bikes and you don't want to worry about it, and I'm fine with going and buying new bikes as well. It's just whatever works for you. But that's some of my opinions. So once you have the bike picked out, the next step would to be able to say, well, before you ride it, we need to get the right gear. And that's going to be in another video as well. We're going to talk through that of kind of what the essential parts or accessories and gear that you need to get your kids started with dirt biking. As always, thanks for watching, you guys, and don't forget to hit the subscription button. Comment below kind of what your experience with buying kids' bikes are in the comments, or if you've got any questions about that, hit us up there as well. We'll try to get to those, and thanks for watching, guys. See ya.